Okay.
So,
Thank you. All right. Welcome out, everyone. We'll call this meeting to order. Pryor Creek Rec Center Board meeting, regular meeting, Thursday, February 13th at 5:30, and it is exactly 5:30 on the dot. Item number 2, petitions from the audience. Jennifer, you got anything for us? Nope,
Katie.
nope. Seeing none. Seeing no petitions from us, we'll go item number 3, discuss possible approving the minutes from January 16, 2025 special meeting. Those have been provided for you. If you'll just take a look at those. We'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Motion by Cook,
Second.
second by Knopfstinger. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 4, review and discuss updates regarding rec center bylaws.
So I think I sent it out to everyone, and there was a couple of things in particular that's inaccurate this time, and that's the date of our meetings moving from Tuesdays to Thursdays, and then possibility of adding a piece about having a secretary, because we haven't had that officially before. So, and then I didn't really see anything else unless anybody else happened to spot something. But those had to go out like 10 days. The requirement was 10 days in advance of this meeting. That's why I sent those out.
So we can say that we finally revised them since 2007.
Yeah, so 07 was the last time. So
Well, when I pulled the bylaws out at the chamber, they hadn't been looked at since 1980.
had to blow the dust
wow.
off. Yeah.
Well, we just threw them all away.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's easy.
That works too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any further discussion on that? I think you can just make the changes and show
Okay.
the revisions.
Just show that by consensus we agreed on that.
Now, we probably, since we are adding to the bylaws that we need a secretary, we need to designate a secretary.
Well, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
That's-
I think that was you, Rebecca, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I wasn't here last meeting.
That's why you were designated.
That's what happens.
Actually, it was.
But you wouldn't put her name in it,
Yeah, no, we would.
Would you? Then you'd have to change it each.
No,
Well, I don't
we,
know how long
well,
it'll stay
on our, there's a document that has all the city groups on there, and it's designated who is what on that. And so that's where it would be,
Okay.
yeah, so.
I should say, Rebecca, are you willing to take that position as secretary?
Is that just taking the minutes,
Yes.
submitting them? I think I can probably handle that.
All right. I make a
Okay.
motion that we elect Rebecca Kemp, will make it official
Okay,
as the secretary. I'll entertain a second.
Second.
Second by McFarland. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That was for a 24-year contract.
Nice.
All right, item number 5, discuss possible recommended council action to seek bids on lawn care for the upcoming season.
so even though it's 10 degrees outside, we'll think about mowing grass here before too long. So, yeah, we need to get that going because we need to get it in front of council for them to approve that and, that process. So now's the time. So just ask them to get that so we can move that forward.
So you'll just throw those out there and...
Yeah, yeah, I think in all this, I think I'm gonna put it in the paper and then I'm covered instead of making phone calls and, y'all know some of the things that have come up with those issues in those deals. So, yeah, I'll just get with Hannah and we'll come up with the language that's required and put it in the paper for 10 days or whatever the requirement is and go from there.
Okay.
So,
All right, I don't know that there's a record that, I don't know that we need to vote on that. I think that's at the...
yeah, just consensus to move it forward kind of thing.
Just move it forward and
Yeah.
then you can bring the bids back and we
Yeah.
can vote on that.
Yeah.
Okay, item number 6, discuss possible recommended council action to seek bids for the next HVAC system, which is in the basketball gym.
So, I'd ask Seth from JACO, they've been doing the majority of our work, so to put together a plan or kind of an order of the next that needs to be addressed, and the one in the gym is the one. in their opinion. And, you know, again, I know it's a bidding situation, but he did give me a preliminary price of about $75,000. And, you know, I'll get the rest of it, but he said that's the next one. And so I really have no reason to refute that. They've done a nice job working on our stuff.
And there's nothing wrong with it yet.
Not yet, but I guess, and that's a good point. I mean, I just want to kind of get it on the table and get the approval to do the bid. So at whatever point we decide, because we're paying for the last of the pool one this month, $99,000. And so we'll be done, you know, we'll be current on everything. So the thing is with these units, we have to bear in mind, they build them from the ground up, so it's about 14 weeks. Now they are built in Tulsa, or with their company anyway. You know, Train is out there. This is Aon equipment. I mean, you're familiar, Houston, I know. So it's you know, it's built, you know, it's specific versus some of the others, I guess, which are cheaper. You know, and we'll get the bids and all, and I'll have Seth back here to talk about all that, but, and anybody else that wants to, for that matter, that we would get a bid from. But anyway, just things to consider as we move this thing forward. But, you know, 14 weeks, it'll be summer, pretty much, real close, you know, and so we don't want to get caught. But I don't want to spend that money any sooner than we have to. You know, we've been kind of doing okay, you know, so anyway, if we can go ahead and maybe just get that bid request to council, and that way, whenever we feel the time, we can just go. We don't have to wait.
Any further discussion? All right, entertain a motion to have any council action for us to seek bids.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Kemp,
Second.
second by Knopfstinger. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7, discuss possible recommended council action to seek bids for controlled access to the east entrance of the rec center.
Okay.
Before you start with that, I would like to say that I prompted that because I came in one morning. It was early. I was dropping off
The generator.
the generator for the parade, and I was able to just pull along the side of the building, get out, and literally walked into that building with no one even knowing that I was there. And so I went to the front, asked Brittany to show me the cameras, kind of see, and there's a portion where you can see someone walk in, but then there's a blind spot. So to me, just being from the risk management world, it's just too easy of access for somebody to be able to walk in there and catch somebody off guard. At least in the front, we can see them coming, and then the side, it's impossible. So I asked Mike to look into that.
Yeah, and so I did finally get something back. You know, I've got to dig into it a little bit more because I don't know that, but I think that the city has a contract with Digi, and not a fan, just for the record, but I did have to get some prices in it. And again, it's a bid situation because their lowest one was $5,400, and so I know there's some other security companies out there because I've done a year ago. I think I might have brought something forward about a system because our cameras need some updating too. Some of them are decent, but there's some of them just really you can't see what's going on. But anyway, they got a 5400, a 6200, and a 7600 model. One of them's cloud-based, the other one's server-based, and there's all kinds of stuff on there that, you know, I'd have to do more studying to know. But I will as time goes on. But just that's the ballpark we're looking at, $5,000 plus, just so everybody knows. So if that's something that we want to.
Would that be a badging in system on that side?
That would, yeah, it'd be a card reader deal. Yeah. Kind of.
You know, it'd just be for that one door?
Just for that one door. They're expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It'll just be employees that have to charge.
Yeah, we
for
just
that.
give it to the employees. Yep. And there's things that, you know, we can do to, you know, to advance it a little bit if somebody doesn't have their card. I mean, and I think I can put an app on my phone, you know, and I can control it that way. You know, as you can imagine, it's all got all kinds of settings, you know, on access. But yeah, it'd be just for our employees.
So you just done some checking into it, but you don't have official bids, right?
Well, I have a quote from them.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 different, and it's 3 different. You know, they use a Vigilon, and is kind of one of their companies they use. I'm trying to think the other two I'm not quite as familiar with, because all of our, one of them is Open Path, which is what the police have in the new police station down there. So, but yeah, these are some hard numbers from them. But I'm thinking,
And you just got the one bid because we feel like we're under contract with them?
yeah, but I'd like, honestly, I'd like to find out more about what
Bill's
our,
calling.
Old seas.
I told him dinner was on the stove. What more does he need to know?
Let the record show that Bill was told. That
Bill is calling.
he's
Make
no
sure you
issue.
get that in the minutes, Rebecca.
Yes. Paused meeting.
He's
for
from
Bill.
Bonita, so say no more. I was born there, so I can say that.
That's funny.
So I guess what I'd like to find out, I was going to visit with the mayor tomorrow about what our contractual obligations are and how that all works, because I think my experience with them has not been very good, and I'd like to at least explore other options. And but just from a general knowledge and cost standpoint, it's probably going to be that, no matter who we go with.
Okay.
So
They're not cheap.
yeah.
Is it just a security company that you're looking for?
Well, yeah, companies, there's a couple of different ones, you know, Digi does this, there's another one in Tulsa that I'm familiar with called Orion. You know, they do security systems in buildings like this, you know.
I mean, I have a security system. I might share my name with you later.
Yeah, the one thing is they have a state contract, they've been approved by the state, and that's, I think, from what I understand, I want to get clarification, if we take this, we don't have to go to bid, per se.
Okay.
And this Orion company that I'm familiar with, they're the same. They also have a state contract. I mean, they don't have any of our business at this time. But anyway, but they use some different camera companies. Verkada is one that they use, and they can use Vigilon as well. My issue is service. It took me 6 weeks to get that. And I talked to the guy a few weeks ago about it. And it's not the first time, because remember, I got a bid or a quote on a camera too up there, and that took a month to get. I just don't feel like, you know, we're getting service, and then sometimes it takes them a while to get out to deal with anything. So anyway,
Why don't you just take a look then and see if there's
I'll bring it back. But anyway, that's where we're at.
We'll really take no action on this.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, item number 8, director's report.
Okay. Okay. Just on the maintenance side of things, just some updates. Like I mentioned, we've submitted payment for the last piece of the 50-ton unit in the aquatics area. You know, we've done some basic maintenance along the way. We cleaned up under the front desk, got everything off the floor, got rid of old cords, cleaned that up nicely. Kind of in preparation, because I think this spring we ought to break down and have the floors stripped and waxed. You know, we've had them buffed a few times in the couple of years I've been around, but I think now it's time maybe to go ahead and wax, and that's a $1,500 deal. I've checked a little bit, and that's the cheapest one I've found so far. Then I don't know, those of you that work out in the morning may have noticed the mirrors on the end there. There's one that's bowing out. There's two actually, and so I've got a company supposed to be coming Tuesday to talk to me about that. And so get that repaired, because that could be a problem if something happened there.
Are the mirrors glass, or are they some other?
I'm not sure. I think it's a tempered mirror of some sort, you know, but the thing's 10 foot tall,
Yeah.
you know, and about 5 feet wide. If it bows out enough and it's snapped, and it might, you know, hit somebody. I don't know if it'd shatter, but it might cut, you know, slice right through if somebody happened to be standing nearby. So, but two of those mirrors there's issues with. Out in front, as you come in off the parking lot, cross the drive, and then start on the sidewalk just to your left there, that goes down in front of the handicap parking. There's 2 lights in the ground there on the sidewalk. Well, we had a lady slip a while back and fell and got hurt and had some medical claims and stuff. And so there's a lip. Everything shifted, so it sticks out of the ground about like that. And so I've been talking to electricians about probably taking those 2 lights out and getting that thing flush. And so they were there today, and they were posing some things I wasn't agreeing with, and so we're gonna continue, but I think we need to just do away with them. That light system, while it's good in theory and when it works, it's nice, it's just, you know, the lights, some of those lights have sunk and they get moisture in them. And I think there's a few out front that are working around the landscaping and stuff that look pretty nice, you know, but most of them aren't working. And so we're looking into that, and I think we ought to get a floodlight for the flag. It has one of those too, but it doesn't really shine very much. And again, it's one of those problem ones. So I think I'm going to check in and see getting a floodlight. There's some, you know, I don't know if we have any military, but there's some issue. There's some you know, protocol with having, if you're going to have a flag, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I know David brought that up. That light. I don't know. Is that light not the one there? Is it not shining? Yeah. So
It was brought to my attention by some of the guys that are military in the mornings.
So yeah. So we need to get that taken care of.
Jennifer, that's why I have all the lights on our house. It's been proven now, it's been said.
Yeah, it's real.
It's real.
So working on some door stuff, some of our wooden doors. I know on the men's side, going into the family restroom, if you notice at the bottom of the door, the wood is starting to separate a little bit down there. So I think we're going to put some kick plates on those wooden doors. It's a cheap fix, and you know, I think too, if we've mopped and the water gets on that over time, you know, wood and water don't mix very well. So we'll get that going. Going to do some weather stripping around some of the doors and that kind of thing. Working on that. So there's a tree out there's actually 2 trees by the employee entrance there along that sidewalk. They're kind of close together. They're big trees. They're nice trees, except that now when the leaves come down, it makes a mess when you come in the building. It's so close, it's like a vacuum, you know. And I'd like to take one of them down. So I know, but I don't know what the protocol on that is. So
Is it one of those? Is it a tree or is it one of the? No,
there's 2 trees. They're the same,
okay.
whatever they are. They got a little leaf about that long, and it's kind of an oval shaped leaf. And they're right next to each other. One of them's closer to the sidewalk, and that's the one. Plus, it's not too far from hitting the building, so it'd have to be trimmed at a minimum to do that. But it just makes a mess inside. And I did have in the mowing contract last year, and they did this. Part of it is the very end of the season when the leaves are down to come by with their grass catcher and pick up as much as they can, but it doesn't all come down until December. So I don't know if the board blesses that or how that works, if the board agrees to that, but I wanted to throw it out there.
I'm gonna wrap my arms around the tree and protest.
$275,000.
Yeah. So.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. Anyway, just, you know, and we got, I mean, you know, it doesn't obviously have to be done now, but just something that's come up. So, not really, well, it's kind of related to repair, maintenance kind of thing, our treadmills. So some of our treadmills are starting to get old, and I don't know if any of you all really use them very much.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, Houston.
Yeah, you're on there, okay.
Sometimes
So,
I feel like I'm walking, but the rubber is like slipping.
Yeah.
It's like I can feel it slipping.
yeah,
What's you like it on it?
Yeah.
And it does, it's like,
well, so part of my motivation is all this mess with the TVs on, right? So that, because the new technology allows you to get rid of all that and you've got pairing capability with your device, and you can also, I was talking to Push Pedal Pull, they use Precor is what they sell, and they also have a Pluto TV app on there, and you can go on there and you can watch TV and still listen to it. And so we don't have to have monitors, we don't have to have those boxes. You know, we're replacing the power cords off the little box constantly, the HDMI cords from the little box to the TV, where, I mean, it's a mess. And I got, Caleb Cantrell is kind of the local expert. When he's working, I have him check those things. And, plus the aux cords that have the older technology, where you plug in, those wear out. They wrap them around the handles and they just, it's not a good thing.
It's not.
Now, the kicker on all that is
they're
that
expensive.
a treadmill is about $8,000.
Oh,
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I've reached out to another outfit that has the ability to shop out several companies. I like the guy from Push Pedal Pull, and I like that product, but I'll get some numbers and just see what it is.
Last time we spent $75,000 on the last equipment that we bought. And that was right around the same time that we did, because before we had no TVs.
Yeah,
So those TVs were kind of a quick fix to
Yeah.
give somebody an opportunity to watch, and I think we had some older ones up there that wasn't working, so
yeah,
we replaced all of those, but immediately, once we did, I said the same thing you did, it's like those little Connex boxes and those cords all.
well, and if you look on the floor, you can't really clean very well down there. It's a mess, and but yeah, it's not. But I thought, well, maybe, if we can get the best price we can, maybe buy one to get the ball rolling and see how people like it. They can adapt to it, and then go from there. But
I don't get on them very often. How many are there?
I think there's 9.
starts at 8 or 9.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think
Wasn't sure. I
think
don't.
there's 9, but 3 of them we would keep. That we
Yeah.
just
Those
are
are
fairly.
Those are the 3
yeah,
new ones,
Yeah.
Which ones
The
are?
Procure.
There's
Yeah.
3 of them that have programs and all kinds
Yeah,
of, you can
yeah,
do all
apps
kinds of
on 'em
stuff
and
on
stuff.
them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 3 closer
So you
to
got
the.
the first one, which is that smaller one.
That is
Yeah.
ancient.
Then you got the 3 nice ones. Then you got the 2 in the middle, the one that you use, those 2 side to side. And then there's 2 older ones down at the very end.
Yeah,
So there's 3 that are still pretty good.
Yes.
Yes.
yeah. We'd probably leave them alone. They're on their own Wi-Fi
Okay.
stations, basically. So anyway, okay. Enough on that. Financial. So the next sheet that says revenue expenses. So that really hasn't changed since October, but I went ahead and threw it in there because I just got November and December yesterday, and so I started to update this stuff, and there's some discrepancies. Because if you look at down, and the discrepancy I noticed the most, our cash fund in October was $122,022. Well, November and December are showing the same thing. And I know darn good and well that it's not the same to the penny. So something's up.
Well, I think just based off the city council meetings and some stuff going on there, I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of stuff that's behind.
Well, and Hannah's trying to learn what's going on and all, but she spit those out to me and all. And the upside is we're in the green. We're cash flowing. Our net revenue to date is around $45,000, and that's with paying all these bills. Now, that's going to drop when that $100,000 hits, this month.
So we expect that.
Yeah, so just, be aware that that's coming, but overall, we're not in too bad a shape. Then, let's see here, that's all I had on that. Then the big page, it was either go to this larger page or go to a smaller page with smaller print. So, this is a ledger size.
Do it.
So this has kind of the unofficial for November and December, and you can see that we're cash flowing. The one thing that is official is the sales tax. So in November, sales tax was $62,000, and in December it was $61,000. So that's nice. That's nice. And then the cash, the net effect, the net revenue, and the year-to-date net revenue is pretty close.
I don't wanna touch it.
Do you want it?
Okay.
You still want it?
5
Okay,
seconds.
what happened?
5 seconds.
Don't laugh.
5 seconds.
It's okay over here.
5 seconds.
I'm from the country.
It's 5 in the country.
Sorry, Mike, we're out of
Yeah,
control over here. Sorry, apologize.
Carry on, Mike.
Okay.
Sorry.
Something about $75,000 in revenue?
$75,000 of revenue, something like that. So, And then if you flip it over to January, so I got first 6 months of the year on one side, last 6 months on the second half of the year. And we made rough, unofficially $3,800, which shows our net revenue to date in around that 51,000. And again, I don't think it's exactly there, but I think it's close. So bottom line is we're doing okay.
Nice to see that sales tax go.
Yes, yeah, because it's been averaging, when I got here, it was averaging about 54, 55.
Continues to go up.
Yeah, so we can hang in there around 60, that's nice. So there's that, and then your expense sheet, the smaller sheet, this one. I highlighted a few things. The expenses, basically compared to last month, they're basically the same except 3 categories. One is advertising, and our renewal for rec radio came through, that's $1,000. And then our billboard, what we paid for the billboards out there at Hookers, that was $828 for 2 months. It's $400 a month. And then the next one down was cleaning supplies. That one's a little bit higher. 2 invoices hit in January for some reason. I guess they came close together. That's why there's a little bit higher there. And then the computer tech, that's our monthly to Daxco for our software. And they're kind of a pain because they don't send me the invoices, and then all of a sudden I get a notice saying we're late. Well, they never send them. So anyway, they sent all 3. I complained, and I got 3 of them all at once, so we paid 3 of them. It's a crapshoot kind of deal. It's frustrating. But their charge is $660 a month is what they charge us, which is less than we were paying before, so that's good. But those are kind of the highlights on the expenses. They're ranging, 90, 92,000. It spiked a little bit back in October when we paid for. I think we paid $50,000 on. Oh, that's when we paid Jayco for their install on the big HVAC unit. And then one thing I'm going to be looking into, because I did notice on the financial I got for December that our utility bill was $16,000. Well, a year ago it was $13,500. Well, it should be going down because we got LED lights, right?
Oh, yeah.
Their rates went up.
Well, that's what I was going to check
They've
into. So
adjusted their rates.
I've asked Darla to send me the fiscal year months.
There was a debate on whether the city should get discounted on the rates, and we're not getting
But-
discounted, but the rates went up.
Do you know when that was?
Yeah, recently.
Okay,
That doesn't surprise me.
okay. Because that was December is when that $16,000.
But then you gotta also look at the cold weather we've had too, because
Yeah.
you're running them heaters like crazy.
Well, yeah, in January, but I didn't know about December, how it was in December. Was it cold in December? I couldn't remember.
I feel like it was.
Was it? Okay. Well,
Well, yeah,
just
at 5
time's
o'clock in the
passing, I
morning, it's
can't
cold.
keep up, but,
I know our electric bill went up in
Yeah.
December substantially.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna look at it, just
I think it's worth
keep a handle on it.
I know.
Yeah, so, but those are kind of the 3 main things. Everything else stayed pretty much the same or less, so. Then membership, as suspected, we thought it would spike, and it did. We went to 1,817 members, which is a 9.3% bump after January compared to leading into December, because we lost about 10% over a 4-month period, so we got pretty much all of it back. The Cherokee Nation program spiked like crazy, went to 654, which is a good thing. But
They actually I read the Bonita Journal every day, and they actually put in there that they're gonna take, this was the pilot program, and they're gonna start spreading it to the rest of it, and they did recognize Pryor Creek.
okay, nice, okay.
Cool.
Well, and that's in my miscellaneous here coming up, but the chief was here last week and he signed a declaration to that effect. They've committed $750,000 to 18 other facilities around $25,000 a piece to get the same thing rolling. So, and then I sent Danny a note because we need $28,000 from them to kind of get caught up on what they're doing for us. So, so anyway, that's in the works. But yeah, all of our categories pretty much went up on the membership side, so that was good. And then, obviously with the spike in the Cherokee Nation membership, you know, that was the biggest month we've had, it was 654. That equates to out to $7,300, 7,308. So that's the finances. Any questions on any of that? If not, we had 14 pool parties in January, 11 public, 3 private. You know, we had extended swim hours over the holidays there, so that'd be, you know, beginning of January. We hosted a GRDA training day in January. Fitness-wise, step challenge is underway. We got 39 participants there. I was going to look up and see what the leader. Do you know what the leader is? Or how many steps? It was a couple 100,000.
Right now they're at like 439,000.
439. Okay.
It's not me, don't worry.
I'm at about 120. That ends tomorrow. Yeah. You know, we're trying to continue our social media presence. Kim got our Instagram account going. Jess is promoting our staff and their birthdays. Class participation was up just a little bit on average. A couple of people on the land side. It was flat on the water side. I mentioned, okay, yeah, and I've mentioned before, I think about certifications. We're working on certifications, getting everybody certified. Membership-wise, we did have 151 new members. I mentioned 654 total for Cherokee. We had 1,097 walkers. Had 681 in December, so 1,097 in January. Day passes were up 1,239. That's up 200 over December, and then our total membership was 1,817. Jeremy Cantrell has started the Pryor Creek Running Club, and we're kind of the home of that. And so we're hosting Fleet Feet's coming to town on Monday to do kind of a demonstration and have their shoes and do some testing, measuring, what have you. And that's the first day. And Katie has offered to kind of lead some of the run aspects, the stretching and some of the teaching and coaching that will go along with that. So we'll utilize her expertise in that area. Then the Cherokee Nation came to us, and they're going to have a walking group on every Wednesday at noon, starting next week, I believe. And then I mentioned the chief was in town last week, so that was good. We're going to join with Boys and Girls Club and have a summer basketball camp. That's July 21st, 2nd, and 3rd. There's a group of guys. It's called Basketball Camp ND 42. And it's some guys that have gotten together. It's a big, if you go on their website, it's big. A lot of guys that have played in Europe that have come back to the States and are doing this, and it's kind of a mission type thing for them. And they do the basketball skills, and they also do a mental training kind of a camp. We're just going to do the basketball, the skills part. Our intruder active shooter notification system is up and running. You know, you may have seen I posted some signs underneath so you can kind of know what's going on. We'll probably do a drill or two, you know, along the way once the weather gets nice, just so everybody kind of understands what to do on that. I was contacted yesterday, and told Katie, but the high school wants to renew their contract with the PE classes because it's going to take till the middle of next year before that gym's done. So they want to, you know, so we'll probably extend that rental agreement, and got that going. You know, we've got the Palm, they're in there. The Liberty cheer group is in there. That seems to be going well. I had submitted to GRDA for some funding, and they rejected us. So I'm not sure what that's about, but I'm gonna, you know, they've got a community program of some sort, and I don't know. I just got an email saying that we didn't meet the criteria, so I called her to find out. I didn't have a talk.
Dr. Shannon?
Shannon Randolph, yeah. So, and then the Cherokee Nation said they would like to have our climbing wall. So,
Oh,
Okay.
good.
yeah, so,
Make more room in the dungeon.
yeah, we're gonna, that'll be nice. And then, we're still in need of a board member. You know, Josh, I don't know if you talked to him, he lives outside the city limits.
Yeah.
So that seems to be our, our bugaboo. Everybody lives outside the city limits, so. Did I forget anything significant?
Did you say the Instagram is up?
I believe so, yeah. Kim got that going.
She's probably got it set up to when she posts on Facebook, it automatically. goes
Yeah.
on Instagram.
I'm not sure, but probably.
And as far as like the intruder piece, I know we're gonna put the security on that east door.
Yeah,
And I know it would be a big thing, and it may not be something we need to do just right away, but, you know, there's so many people coming inside buildings that are not locked, and it's like you almost should, I don't know if you could buzz people, I don't know what it would be, but I mean, anybody could walk into the front, and just from being at the school as well as just all the stuff on the news lately.
well, I forgot to mention, so we got our guardrail stuff last week, but it wasn't the right color.
Oh, no.
So I sent it back, and so I'm guessing next week we'll have it. But
That'll be able to control them.
that'll help
That
some.
should help.
But, you know, if we didn't have all this HVAC stuff, we could do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
We can, and you know, and we had that plan to move the desk and put the turnstiles and all that, and that would give us more access control, you know, to your point.
You just gotta Band-Aid it.
Yeah.
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 But you know, anybody could just walk in,
Yeah.
so anybody right there in their front.
Well, we've been meeting, Katie set up meetings with all of our front desk personnel and our floor staff, and we've been talking about that, how to handle that. And who, you know, where the buttons are, because we have a panic button, which is a silent alarm, and that's to notify the police and fire. But the other is for everybody inside the facility. So, you know, so we've got probably some teaching to do or some awareness to, you know, for our, some education on our members to do. Once we do an alarm or two, or a drill or two,
Yeah.
you know, hopefully that'll,
You hate to think you have to do that, but
yeah.
it's getting worse
Yeah.
instead of better.
Yeah.
All right, any questions for Mike? Good job, Mike. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank
Yep,
you,
Katie.
guys.
Katie's
All right, number 9,
Parks.
unforeseen business. Seeing none, take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by McFarland,
Second.
second by Knopfinger, all in favor?
Aye.
You're adjourned.
All right,
You guys.
thank you all.
Peter,
Yes, sir.
See you guys.
can you move
Let me buy yours.
what it would look like and,
See you again. Thanks. Yep.
yes.
What are those orange?
An orange sickle.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the
They're
only,
lifesavers. But
all the buildings.
I've been missing you guys.
We'll be back next week.
Right.
I figured.
So almost, so
My wife has been sick for almost 5 weeks now. Had the cough, and she's still working because
Oh, yeah, yeah.
she said, "What am I going to do? Sit at home?"
it's the very expensive, but they could,
I redid my bathroom.
then they would have to be buzzed in once they park. You know,
Bye, guys, have fun.
Some kind of a
yeah, you know, like at
plexiglass.
the schools, there's school year.
I mean, Claremore.
And you walk into the front part, but then Rosanna or whoever's at the desk has to buzz you in.
Yeah, that looks nice.